Greetings and salutations, everybody, and welcome to the Glitched Out Gaming Podcast. I am your host, Lord X, and I welcome you to this week of nerdy news and probably a whole bunch of bullshit as we ramble on about nonsense like Roman Reigns being Aquaman, that kind of shit. But joining me is the one, the only, Israel Pacheco.
Yeah, I'm sure we'll talk about that on the other show.
Yeah.
But this show, we got a lot to talk about. We missed a week, so there is a lot to talk about.
Oh, indeed there is. Thankfully, not a whole lot of gaming news this past week. Granted, we are recording on April 7th, a Thursday, so who knows what the fuck is going to happen after we've recorded this.
And next announced tomorrow.
Yeah. Oh, man, that'll be such a bitch. Anyways, yeah, like you mentioned, we've got one hell of a show to go over. So, I guess we can dive right into it. We're going to start off, as we start off every week, with what we've been playing. And Izzy, what have you been playing, my main man?
So, the first thing I got here is Miitomo, which is which is Nintendo's new cancer taking over people's lives. But yeah, this is their first app. It's available on the Google Play Store and the App Store on iOS. And it's pretty much like a social network meets, very simplified games. I've played it, or at least hopped into it like every day since its release, checking my comments, my likes, because basically you get asked a bunch of questions, and then you could hit like a little heart to like it, or you could comment on it, and then you could reply to people, and then you get points for that. Okay. You get points for playing through the mini games, which you need. It's kind of confusing. I'm not going to get into all the details because there's like tokens for this and coins for that and something else for this, but you could, customize your character. The more you do, the more you change your clothes, the more, you change your outfits, you get points for that. So, it's super addicting, and I could see them creating an Animal Crossing game on mobile. Yeah. That's the first thing I thought of while I was playing this. I was like, damn, they would kill with Animal Crossing on mobile, because this is, their first game on mobile, and it's very simple, but it becomes very addicting because you have to be there every day, because there's new clothing in the shop that you could purchase. There's new coins you could get for doing daily activities. So I was like, this is Animal Crossing. Like, it's going to be ridiculous. They're going to kill everybody's battery if they release Animal Crossing on mobile. But I'm having a good experience. It's a cool thing to just, fool around with. And it's nice because it uses like the Mii characters that we know from the Wii and the Wii U. You could transfer it over, and it's connected to their new replacement for Club Nintendo, which I think that's even cooler now, that if you buy digital games, you get points towards like coupons where you could get like 30% off games, or virtual console games, things like that. So there's some cool stuff there, and some of my friends have been playing it. I'm surprised you haven't hopped on it yet. Maybe you're just avoiding it completely.
Yeah, man, I don't think I want to go down that drug trip. Besides, from what I've seen, it looks like Tomodachi Life to me. Which
oh yeah, that's another thing. It is basically Tomodachi Life. It's the Mii creator meets Tomodachi Life. It really is. I keep mentioning Animal Crossing because it just made me think of the possibilities of what they could do with an Animal Crossing game on mobile. But you're correct. It's pretty much the Mii creator meets Tomodachi Life, because your characters, you get to pick their voice and like the pitch of the voice, and they speak, and whatever you type in, they say. And it's pretty funny when you talk to people, and people come over to your place. Like, I just log in and I'll just randomly see like a person in my house. Like, I'll see like DC Radaya or somebody else show up. So it's cool, but Yeah, it's like a social network. It's meets Facebook also in terms of commenting and interacting with people. So,
Yeah.
yeah, that's about it. It's a cool, unique experience for their first app. I'd like to see them do, or I'd like to see what the possibilities of Nintendo moving forward after they've released this. But it's a cool thing to just mess around with on a daily basis when you're like on a break, or on your lunch or whatever. It's like when you go on Twitter and you're just checking what's up. It's pretty much one of those things. But it's cool.
Awesome. I guess over to me. I've played a bunch of stuff this week. Not a whole lot of anything to dive into. Something like a great deal. But the one thing that I did play all the way through, finished it, was Minecraft Story Mode, Episode 5. It finally came out. Even though with it coming out, they announced, we're going to do 3 more episodes and charge another $15 for those.
What?
Yeah.
Really?
They announced episodes 6, 7, and 8. And
wow.
They're going to charge another $15 for those 3 episodes. So, yay! But, anyways, in regards to the episode itself, it was good, enjoyable. It showed like a little mini story of what the characters, what came after, and how they are now since the last episode. So it was enjoyable. I liked it. If episodes 6, 7, and 8 continue this trend and are just as good, maybe I'll dive into them. Especially if they give another platinum trophy. I'd be all over that. Telltale. Wink,
Sucker.
wink, nudge, nudge. But yeah, I dug it. I thought it was really good. For anybody that's been considering picking it up, yeah, go for it. Let's ignore 6, 7, and 8 right now. But as far as the main 5 episodes go, in order to get all the trophies or achievements, highly recommend it. I think it's one of Telltale's best works to date.
Yeah, I hadn't heard about that they pulled a swerve.
Oh yeah.
And they are asking for more money. That really stinks, to be honest. But yeah, let's move into the next game that I played here, and I believe it was on your list too, and that is the Final Fantasy 15 Platinum demo.
Yes, sir.
I played it on PS4. It was quite strange. Like, you started out and you're basically playing as Noctis as a child. You're like stuck in his dreams. That's what it seems like.
You are, yep.
And then you come across this little creature named Carbuncle, which is like a cross between like a fox and, I don't know, like it looks kind of like a fox. But your typical Final Fantasy like magical creature.
Yeah.
And then
if you've ever seen any other incarnations of Carbuncle, kind of the same thing.
Oh, so he's a character that's through the series then, like in different versions. Okay, that makes sense. So yeah, and you're going through the world, and it's really strange, and I really didn't know what was going on. It reminded me a lot of Kingdom Hearts in terms of like the world, especially that one section of the level where you go into what looks like somebody's house, and there's a bunch of toys on the floor, and you have to go through them. That reminded me a lot of Kingdom Hearts. It was kind of strange up until the end, which is when you turn into like the older Noctis and you fight. I forgot the name of that villain.
Iron Giant.
Okay, you fight an Iron Giant, and it was pretty badass. And I have to say, the issues that I had with Episode Dusk in terms of the camera and the combat, that's all gone. So I'm happy about that. I ended up pre-ordering the game, so I'm definitely going to be playing this. Got him. The D's Nuts guy returns. But yeah, I pre-ordered it. I'm looking forward to playing it on September 30th. The only issues I have right now, but I think they have some time to polish it, because from what I've heard, the game is pretty much done at this point. They're just polishing, if not very close to ending, where they're at with the game. And like the frame rate, there's a little bit of issues there. In terms of the resolution, there's some issues. I could tell it's not full like 1080p, 30 frames a second constant. So I hope they polish that up by release. But But in terms of the combat, I really enjoyed it, and the camera issues that I had, those are gone. So I'm definitely going to be one of the people playing this, which is a surprise. Izzy pre-ordered a Final Fantasy game. But it's definitely because it's an action game, and I know they have to meet those sales expectations of like over 10 million copies or whatever ridiculous amount they have to do to make their money back.
Yeah.
But I think it's possible it could hit it. I think that the highest grossing or selling one at this point has been Final Fantasy VII, which has sold around 10 to 11 million, but that's through all the different versions and re-releases and whatever. But with this being action-based, I could definitely see it catching on, maybe becoming like a phenomenon, like something like Skyrim was or something.
It could very
but
well.
for the JRPG genre, I hope it does, because they have a lot invested in this game. So yeah, that's it for the demo. Since you played it too, what were your thoughts?
I really enjoyed it. I thought it was a very, very neat way of them to show off some of the gameplay mechanics without like just giving us a section of the game like they did with episode Duske. So that was really cool. I especially, like yourself, love the house scene where you're like tiny and walking around it, where you could like drive those cars around and everything. That was really cool. I really enjoyed that. But yeah, overall, absolutely loved it. I thought it was great. And very next day, I went out and pre-ordered the limited edition of the game.
Yeah, it does look pretty nice. Like I have to say, with brings a steel book, right, and then like some
I'm not
like
sure
designs,
if it's a steel book, but it's
or
a
like
specially designed case, and it comes with a Blu-ray copy of the movie as well.
Okay. Oh, I didn't know it came with the movie. That's pretty cool. But yeah, I'm excited for it. It's like the first game. It's like way out that we know like a definitive release date, which we'll get into in a little bit. But yeah, I'm excited for it. I'm hope it's successful for Square Enix, because God, they need this. They need they need to put Final Fantasy back on the map, because after the 13 and what after that, they really need to restore faith in people for Final Fantasy. But I think this game is going to deliver. I could feel that like the tide might be turning in their favor, but looking forward to it.
Another thing on my list that I talked about last week, and we did have some footage of it in not last week, but the week before's podcast. Cat lateral damage. I finished the game. I basically stayed up till I think there's 3 a.m. in the morning going after the platinum trophy.
The platinum.
Yeah.
Got him.
Yeah, I got the Paul Latinum in the game. I really love that game. It's just so soothing to play that. After a bad day, just turn on Cat Lateral Damage and start knocking shit over. There's no better feeling in the world. So yeah, I got that. And another game that I can briefly mention here, which I haven't played a whole lot of yet. I have played the game in the past. I've played it here on my YouTube channel, and that's Earthbound. I've been playing it on the new 3DS.
Oh, nice.
And damn, does that ever feel good as a handheld game. Like, oh, it's just so nice. It's great to dive back in that world again. It looks great on the 3DS screen. So good. Go buy Earthbound, people. Like, do it. Just stop listening. Pause this podcast right now. Pick up your new 3DS and buy the game. If you don't own a new 3DS, go ahead and buy a new 3DS and buy the
just download it on the Wii U eShop. Yeah. Hell, go buy the original with the manual, the box, the cartridge.
Go
pay $1,000. It's like $1,000 now. It's crazy. Just the cartridge is probably like $4 or $5. And
yeah, I started playing that up again. Haven't gotten far yet, but god damn, do I ever
That's a
love
game
it.
I gotta try out. I've never tried it.
You really have to.
I need to give it a shot.
Go buy it.
Yeah, I'll buy it sometime when it's gonna be busy here the next few months in terms of releases. Maybe sometime during the summer. Probably like I could see myself in July sometime hopping into that. And we could do that as one of the episodes of that show that I haven't spoken about, but that'd be cool.
Wink, wink, nudge, nudge.
Coming soon. But yeah, the last game I got here, I decided to finish the fight once again. And I've started replaying Halo 3 on the Master Chief Collection. I was just in the mood for a first-person shooter. I was in the mood for something that I know, that like I feel comfortable with. It wasn't like something new that I had to start up.
Yeah.
So I hopped into Halo 3. I'm probably a couple hours into it. Replaying it on the Master Chief Collection since I've already replayed through Halo 1 and 2 Anniversary. Yeah, I'm going to play through this, ODST, and then Halo 4. But yeah, it's... Man, there's something magical about that game, like just going back into it. Like, it's definitely dated in terms of like today's first-person shooter mechanics. Mm-hmm. But just the way it feels and just like how the AI works and just the design of the world and the music, there's just something very special. It just reminded me of why I used to love Halo so much. But yeah, I'm going to continue playing that. I should be playing other stuff that I got, like Quantum Break and Silent Hill 2. And then next week Ratchet comes out, and I'll be playing that. So probably by the next episode, I'll have a lot more to talk about in terms of more newer, heftier stuff that isn't like an app or a demo. So yeah, that's it from me this week. I'll throw it back over to you.
Cool. I've only got two other things here to briefly mention. I played a bit more of Pokken Tournament, did a few more matches.
Ugh.
Sore spot there for Izzy, apparently. Though I'll talk a little bit more about that later because we've got something in the questions section about that. And the last thing that I played, I actually finished this up today. I finished the story mode of Dead or Alive 5, last round.
Oh, so, nice.
Played through that again, finished that up. No trophy for finishing the story mode. Kind of annoyed by that a little bit. But
that's weird. They're pulling a Naughty Dog with like The Last of Us, and you get like no damn trophies for doing anything.
But yeah, I still love that game. Last fight in that game is such a bitch too. So hard. And I never mentioned this last time because I did have this the last time we recorded, but I bought the DLC fighter. I cannot mention her name now. She's from the Samurai Warriors games. And she's really good. I really like using her. She's great at combos. You mash circle and you can do a 10-hit combo.
Jesus.
But she's got that quick kind of style, which I like. So really digged it. Worth the, I think $6 she was, $5.99, something like that. The first piece of actual useful DLC from Dead or Alive 5. Other than like the 1,000 different costumes we got it, you know. So yeah, that pretty much wraps it up for me as well. And Izzy, we're in April, so you know what that means.
Yep.
It's time for the Games of April.
We need some like sound effect or something.
Really do. Alright, so let's run down through what we've got coming this month. And I just noticed in the to be announced section, I believe that got released this past week, if I'm correct. So on April 1st, Adam's Adventure Origins came out for Windows, PS4, and Xbox One. And Stickbold, a dodgeball adventure, came out on Windows. Last Tuesday, we got the Assassin's Creed Chronicles Trilogy Pack releasing on the PlayStation Vita. Awesome. I will buy that once it goes on sale because it's now on the Vita. Dirt Rally for PS4 and Xbox One. Dead Star for Windows and PS4. Also one of the free PlayStation Plus games for this month. Enter the Gungeon for Windows, Mac, Linux, and PlayStation 4. Job Simulator for Windows and HTC Vive. Hover Junkers for Windows, HTC Vive. Getting into that virtual reality stuff now, folks.
Yep.
Quantum Break came out for Windows and Xbox One. Sorcery Part 3, The Seven Serpents for Windows and Mac. Didn't know there was a Part 1 or 2. Stick Bold, a dodgeball adventure, came out on PlayStation 4. I think Xbox One as well. It comes out.
Yeah,
It came out on the 8th for
a few
Xbox
days
One.
later. Yeah,
Um,
tomorrow.
Yep. Oh yeah, comes out tomorrow as of this recording. And the Gallery, Episode 1, Call of the Star Seed for Windows HTC Vive. Now then, releasing on the 12th, tomorrow, we have Dark Souls 3 for Windows, PS4, and Xbox One, unless you download the Japanese copy in which you're already playing this. Ratchet and Clank for PlayStation 4.
Yeah.
Stories, The Path of Destinies for Windows and PlayStation 4. And The Park comes out for PlayStation 4. That's interesting. That's a horror game. On the 15th, we have Bravely Second Endlayer for the 3DS. On the 18th, we have Danganronpa 2, Goodbye Despair, getting its Windows release. Go buy it, people. On the 19th, or go buy a Vita and buy the Vita version. Support the Vita. On the 19th, we have Invisible Ink getting its PlayStation 4 release. The Banner Saga 2 for Windows and Mac.
That was a quick turnaround. I didn't know that was coming out so soon.
Yep. Now we just need the PlayStation 4 release. And finally, Axiom Verge gets its PlayStation Vita release after over a year now. Colin Moriarty can finally talk about the game and play it. On the 21st, we have Battlefleet Gothic Armada for Windows. On the 22nd, we have Star Fox Zero, hashtag low score better than no score for the Wii U, and Star Fox Guard for the Wii U. On the 25th, we have HTOL, hashtag NIQ, the Firefly Diary for Windows. Again, go buy the Vita version, it's better. On the 26th, Jesus Christ, I can't talk now. We have Alien Nation for the PlayStation 4, Dungeons 2 for the PlayStation 4, Hitman, Sapaniza for Windows, PlayStation 4, and Xbox One, King's Quest Chapter 3, Once Upon a Climb for Windows, PlayStation 4, PlayStation 3, Xbox One, Xbox 360. We have Lumo for Windows, Mac, and Linux. We have Sega 3D Classics Collection for the 3DS. And Stranger of Sword City for the PlayStation Vita. On the 28th, we have Mini Mario and Friends Amiibo Challenge for the 3DS and Wii U. It's free. Go buy an Amiibo, I guess. And Lost Reavers for the Wii U. And in the to be announced section, we have Amplitude for PS3, which I believe got released last week on the 5th. And Okios for Windows, Mac, and Linux. And that, folks, is your games of April. It's quite a good month overall.
Yep. Good variety of stuff.
Yep.
Some smaller stuff, some bigger stuff.
Mm-hmm. Dark
Yeah.
Souls 3, probably the biggest game of the month.
Yeah, for a lot of people, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like I mentioned earlier, I already got Quantum Break. It's been preloaded on my hard drive for a while. I just haven't played it yet. Ratchet. I probably got to check soon. It should have to be preloaded pretty soon. I got to check that sometime over the weekend. And then Star Fox Zero, they haven't put up a preload option yet on the eShop. So whenever they do, I'll get that. But those are the three for me this month.
Nice. For myself, Dark Souls 3, Bravely Second, Endlayer. That's another definite for me. Other than that, I'll be definitely downloading and playing Axiom Verge on the Vita.
You'll get Alienation, right?
I'm considering it, yes. It's a high shot for me. Right now, just it'll all depend on my budget once the 26 rolls around, if I can get it or not.
PS Plus.
Hey, I like to support Housemarque. They make good shit.
They do.
So yeah, that's pretty much it for me. Banner Saga, I'll get that on a Steam sale eventually. Still want the first one on the Vita. Come on, guys, put it on there.
Vita.
But yeah, that pretty much does it for the games of April. after this, I think May is pretty full as well. The end of June is going to be a fucking disaster for my wallet. But yeah, good month. Very good month of games.
Yep, good stuff.
And with that, it's time to finally dive into the news. And Izzy, you've got our first story. Going back to that Final Fantasy.
What the hell just happened to Lord X? You became country all of a sudden. Final Fantasy 15. No, I don't want to piss people off. As we spoke about earlier, Final Fantasy 15, a bunch of info on its release date, collector's edition, the demo that we mentioned. It's going to be dropping worldwide on September 30th on PS4 and Xbox One. Surprised to not see a PC release.
Yeah, that's weird.
There is going to be a deluxe edition, which is $89.99. It has steelbook packaging, bonus outfit, weapon and skin for Noctis' car. There's also an Ultimate Collector's Edition, which I believe is already sold out and going for ridiculous prices on eBay.
Of course.
Which is limited to 30,000 units worldwide, exclusive to the Square Enix online store. It retails for $269.99. You get all the stuff that we just mentioned, plus a hell of a lot more. You get a Play Arts Kai figure. You get some...
That's worth the money alone right there. Those things are expensive.
Yeah, those go for around $80 to $100. So
more than that here.
Yeah, that's true. More of that in Canada.
I've seen them here now up to about $160, $170.
Really?
So,
wow,
yeah.
That's crazy. So yeah, it also includes an exclusive 6th episode of the animated series, which they also announced. So, those figures I've had a mixed track record. I know I'm going on a tangent here, but like I had an Assassin's Creed one that wouldn't stand. I had a Bayonetta one, wouldn't stand. I had a Metal Gear one that was really good. So it's kind of mixed in terms of their build quality. But I had a Cloud one that I sold from Advent Children that had his bike and everything.
Oh, nice.
But yeah, back to Final Fantasy 15. Like I mentioned, they also announced an animated series that's going to be coming out around the same time as the game. They also announced a film, which is going to include the voice talents of like Lena Headey from, I forgot how to pronounce her name, but she's Cersei in Game of Thrones, if I'm not mistaken, and then some other big time actors. Unfortunately, they won't be doing those roles in the actual game. They're just going to be doing it in the film, and it's being produced by Sony Pictures, if I'm not mistaken. So there's a lot of Final Fantasy stuff going around right now. They're really, really pushing this. As we talked about earlier, they need to make somewhere around 10 million sold worldwide for them to make back their investment on this game. But at the same time, this game was announced 10 years ago. Not this exact, iteration, because there's been changes along the way, but it was Versus 13 at the time. And yeah, it's become Final Fantasy 15 at this point. Some good stuff. I don't know if I'll get into the anime or the film as much. Like I've watched like Advent Children, and some of it is like overly dramatic and over the top, and it's not. I rather just play the game personally. Maybe I enjoy the game so much that I end up, picking those things up or checking them out down the line. But sometimes those like adaptations aren't necessarily the greatest. I can't even talk. Necessarily the greatest. There we go. But yeah, what are your thoughts about all this Final Fantasy stuff coming in September?
I'm happy that we finally have a release date. That's awesome after all of this fucking time of waiting.
10 years,
and waiting,
man.
And fuck.
That's crazy.
That's great that we finally got that. The collector's editions, awesome. I think they're doing a great job with those. Friend of the podcast and guest co-host there a couple of weeks ago, Mike Chalice, he landed himself one, so congratulations to you, Mike. I feel very sorry for your wallet, but congratulations to you. Like I mentioned earlier, I've got the limited edition ordered. I love the box art. It's so fucking nice. And I think it's like $116 here in Canada, something like that. but gonna be worth it, I think. And as for the other stuff, the movie, I'm interested. King Regis is totally going to die because he's voiced by Sean Bean, so we know that's going to happen. The anime, I haven't watched the first episode yet. I've been meaning to. I have it bookmarked, but just haven't.
Oh, it's already out. I didn't know that. Yeah,
the first one's out. And I think the other four are going to be released over the course of the next few months before the game's release. I'm interested. And the mobile game, too, that they announced for it, the pinball thing.
There's so much stuff.
Yeah, they're putting a lot into this game. Like, we can see why they need 10 million copies to sell. So, yeah. I'm excited. I'm very, very much excited. So, yeah, I guess we can dive into our next news story. And that is, Atlas games in the USA will now be published by Sega. That's right. In an effort to streamline its business operations, writes Alex Osborne of IGN, Sega will now publish Atlas USA games, including Persona 5. According to Game Informer, Atlas fans can rest assured knowing that all the studio's branding isn't going anywhere, as the two companies will continue to operate independently. Sega Sammy acquired Atlas, blah, 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 blah. Yeah, they bought them. 2016 is a big year for Atlas, with the highly anticipated fifth installment of its beloved Persona franchise set to launch sometime this summer. If you release it June 28th, I'm going to kill you. While you patiently await its release, find out how Persona 5 differs from other entries in the series. So, yeah! Cool. Sega's going to help out Atlas by publishing their games. That's awesome. Helps both companies.
Yeah, I think it's cool. It's a good look for Sega because they've had a mixed track. They've had a very mixed track record ever since they delved out of the console space in terms of making their own consoles. Even then, they had a super mixed track record. But it helped Sega as a brand, and I think maybe Atlas will have a little bit more as an outreach. Maybe people will look at Persona more. That's possible if they see the Sega brand attached to it. Maybe some Sega. There's a lot of Sega fanboys, so maybe they'll try out the series this time around. But I think it's mutually beneficial. We still don't know when this game is coming out. They've been very quiet about it. They've been so quiet about this that I'm thinking it's going to get pushed, and
no,
I wouldn't blame them because Final Fantasy is going to be the talk of the town in September. So if this drops anywhere near it, it might affect the sales. So yeah, I think it's good for both parties.
All right, now you've got our water is wet news.
Yeah, so rumor, the most surprising rumor of the last 2 weeks, Grand Theft Auto 6 is in development. What? 10 years in the making, just like Final Fantasy 15. But in all seriousness, yeah, this is like, okay, they're making another Halo, like, or that type of thing. Like Nintendo's making another Mario. Like, they made so much money off of GTA 5. They sold like 50, 60 million units across all versions. It's still selling. It's still showing up on MPD on a monthly basis. It's nuts. But yeah, it's rumored to be in development. Of course it is. Then some news that was kind of leaked around the same time these rumors started going around was that they almost made a Grand Theft Auto set in Tokyo.
Like, that would have been interesting. But it's also
that would have been cool, yeah.
Series.
Yeah, yeah, they do have the Yakuza series. But it's interesting if they would have done that, but for whatever reason it didn't come to fruition. I think they said that these cities in Japan are very constrained in terms of like the streets and stuff. So like using vehicles would be kind of difficult because you would need like wider streets. I think that was one of the things they spoke about. But they sent out a team and they took a bunch of photos. They did a bunch of research, but it just never happened. That's a shame. I'm interested to see where Grand Theft Auto 6 takes place. Are they going to go back to Vice City?
That would be nice. I'd like for them to go back to Vice City, or if they're not going to do that, give us a London or somewhere in Europe. That kind of thing.
Yeah, that'd be cool if they take it out of the U.S. Maybe they just do the safe thing and go back to like Liberty City, but
No.
there's been enough Liberty City at this point. I'd say go to Vice City. That'd be awesome. Just imagine the soundtrack. It'd be oh my god.
And if they did it like set in the 80s again, that would be fantastic.
Please, Grand Theft Auto 6, like just do it. Just do it, Rockstar. But yeah, that's it for that story. Not very surprising. It's surprising that they almost did a Tokyo game, but the GTA 6 isn't surprising at all.
No. All right, we're going to end our news section here with some more Final Fantasy. Don't know why I keep doing that. Final Fantasy VII Remakes episodes are the size of full games, so expect to pay $59.99 in the U.S. or $79.99 here in Canada for each episode of Final Fantasy VII Remake. From the article on IGN here, Final Fantasy VII Remakes episodes will each be the size of a full-scale game, on par with installments of the Final Fantasy XIII sub-series. Not a good series to compare it to, Square. Not good.
Yeah, bad idea.
There had previously been some confusion over the announcement that the game will be a multi-part series, with some asking whether it would take the form of something like Telltale's 2 to 3 hour episodes. However, in the latest issue of Game Informer, producer Yoshinori Kitase clarifies, saying it will essentially be a full-scale game for each part of the multi-part series. If we were just looking at each of these parts, one game could be put on par with the scale of one Final Fantasy XIII game. Kitase was keen to make clear that doesn't mean Final Fantasy VII Remake will be taking anything more than the general structure from Final Fantasy XIII. Good boy. In 13, each installment told the story from a different angle. It was kind of like approaching an unknown territory in a sense. Whereas with Final Fantasy VII Remake, we already have a pre-existing story. So it wouldn't really make sense if that isn't encompassed in a multi-part series. Previously, the game's director, Tetsuya Nomura, had stated that the game would feature dramatic changes from the original, and has continued that message. I, along with Nomura-san and Najima-san, who are involved with the remake, were also invested with the original Final Fantasy. We were the people who created it, also with Sakaguchi, might I add. So in that sense, we don't think anything is untouchable. That isn't to say that we're changing everything. And yeah, surprise, surprise, it still doesn't have a release date. So yeah, what do you think about this with Final Fantasy VII's parts being full-scale games?
I'm just wondering, the price, is it going to be $59.99?
Well, if they end up giving us like a 50, 60 hour
discount. I don't know. I don't know how I feel about this. It's
personally, like, if they're giving us a 50 to 60 hour experience per game, I think that's okay.
Yeah, maybe they do like 13-2, and then Lightning Returns. Like, it seems at least they're gonna do 3, especially them comparing it to Final Fantasy 13. Yeah. So it seems like there's gonna be Final Fantasy 7 Part 1, 2, and 3. I see the first part coming out next fall, possibly 2017, which is the 20th anniversary of Final Fantasy 7. It was in 1997, right?
Yep.
So yeah, it'll make sense for them to drop the first part next year, even if it conflicts with like Kingdom Hearts or whatever, if that comes out next year. But and then maybe one every year. How was the the Final Fantasy 13 schedule? Was it like every year, every 18 months that they release one?
Jesus,
I can't remember, because I think 2013, was it 20? What was it that the first one released?
It was 2006. I remember that because that was my first year working at my job.
Okay, 2009 actually.
No, yeah, that's it. Right. Fuck, I was in university in 2009. What the fuck am I thinking?
2009. Let's see, where's 13-2? And the sequels. Came out on Android? What the hell?
Izzy's going down a very deep, dark hole right now, folks, apparently.
Yeah, sorry, I got distracted because it said it came out on iOS and Android also. So, whatever that means. The second game came out 2011, so that'll be 2 years later. And then Lightning Returns, I think, was 2013.
Sounds a bit right.
Yep, 2013. And February of 2014 in Europe and North America. So, about 2 years in between each. That's too long, in my opinion. To be honest, I think they should drop every year for the next 3 years.
Mm-hmm. They probably will.
Them dropping every 2 years.
It looks like they are right now with the first part. Yeah. I could see it being every year, or at least like every year and a half.
Yeah, 18 months. So yeah, we'll see where this goes. It was great to hear that they're making a remake, but the way that it's been rolled out has been not the greatest.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Okay, right. Well, I guess that does it for our news section, so it's time to go into our topic of the week.
Top. I don't know what the hell that was.
Because he's having a stroke, folks.
Yeah. I'm becoming Goldust. Gertie.
Alright, well, we're in April now, so we're going to do what we did last year every 3 months. After every 3 months, we're going to take a look back at each quarter of the year. So right now we're going to take a look at Q1 of 2016, the highs, the lows, and we're also going to take a look at our fantasy draft as well as it occurs to those 3 months. Don't worry, we're not including the delays or cancellations in this, Izzy. No worries.
Not yet.
No. At the end of the year, you can cry over the rhyme. But right now, first off, we're going to do our top 10 rated games, not counting remakes or re-releases. Though, if something on this is actually a re-release, I do apologize. You never can tell.
I don't think anything here is a re-release.
Yeah. But, yeah. Top 10 games as rated by Metacritic. So, at number 1, we have Stardew Valley at 88 overall on PC. Next, we have XCOM 2, 88 on PC.
Yeah.
Then we have The Witness, 88 on PC, 87 on PlayStation 4. Then we have Fire Emblem Fates Conquest at 88. And that was the highest one, but also the special edition had 88 and Birthright had 87.
All right.
Coming in at number 5, we have Pony Island at 87.
What the hell is that?
Oh, you have not seen Pony Island?
Hold up, I need to Google this.
Oh, you're in for a treat. You might find some My Little Pony stuff if you do that straight up.
Pony Island on Steam. What?
It's a very unique game. I think Jim Sterling gave it like a 9.5 or something like that.
What the hell is this?
It's a very trippy game.
Yeah, to say the least. Jesus, that was just weird.
You got enough Steam credit, you should pick it up and try it out.
No. No, thanks.
Coming in at number 6, we have Devil Daggers, 85 on PC. Number 7, we have MLB The Show 16, 85 on PlayStation 4. At number 8, we have Assault Android Cactus at 85 on PlayStation 4. At number 9, we have Salt and Sanctuary, 85 on PlayStation 4. And at number 10, we have Grim Dawn, 84 on PC. So, some really cool games here in the top 10.
Yeah, it's funny that a lot of these aren't like really mainstream games, except maybe MLB. That'll be the only one.
Yeah, and I'd probably argue XCOM 2 as well
for the PC crowd, of course. But everything else is more of obscure game or indie title.
Yeah. I really want to play Stardew Valley, though. Like, big time. I've seen so much footage on that game now. I'm like, I am itching to play it. It looks like a great successor to the Harvest Moon franchise.
Oh, that's what it is. Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, so that was the top 10 rated games. So our favorite games from Q1 of 2016. I figured we could talk about probably 3 each here.
Okay, I'm gonna write some down real quick.
Well,
because it's cool. Because this year, as you know, I've been writing down all the games that I've bought and played every month. So I got a pretty good idea of this.
Awesome. So the first one that came to my mind when doing this was Mega Dimension Neptunia V2 Generation. I love the Neptuna series. There's a whole ton of them. There's a ton more coming. Yeah, I thought it was a great little successor to the franchise. Doesn't really change up much in terms of combat or everything, but from what I have played of it, I've enjoyed it. I thought it's cool. It's great. One of my favorite purchases, anyway, from the first month of this year.
All right, so wow, that's a shame. There's a lot of stuff that was disappointing from you. That it seems like, from what I've got written down here. The most obvious one for me that comes to mind is Far Cry Primal. The first Far Cry game that I completed, I put like 24, 25 hours into it, got like 80% of the trophies, just absolutely loved it, got addicted to it in terms of all the upgrade mechanics, and then the whole Beastmaster mechanic, and taming every creature that you can tame, and going out on hunts and taking out all the different villages, like enemy villages and stuff. It was just a fantastic game. Definitely my favorite game in the Far Cry franchise, but that's pretty much my highlight of the first quarter of 2016.
Cool. The next one on my list here, Firewatch. That game was fucking awesome. And unlike a lot of people I heard talk about it, I never had any issues with it on PlayStation 4, other than it freezing up in a load screen at one point for me. But other than that, fuck, I love that game. It had such a great opening, beautiful atmosphere, a fun story, kind of drizzled out a little bit at the end for me, but could have been different if I played it a different way, dialogue-wise, so who knows. But overall, man, like, fucking love that. That's up there right now for, like, my favorite games of the year so far.
Wow. That's really up there for you.
Oh, yeah.
For me, I don't have two other ones, to be honest. It seems like either I didn't buy that many new releases and played older stuff from my lists here, or the things that I did buy that were new were disappointing. So I'll kick it over to you for your last one.
Really? Not even Pokken could save it for you?
Nope. We'll get into that in a second.
Alright then. Well, the last one on my list here is Digimon Story Cyber Sleuth. I've been kind of looking forward to the game. I wasn't going to pick it up at first. Luckily, work was really good at the time it came out, so I was able to purchase it on the Vita. And I have loved that game on the Vita. It is, like, so good. It's classic turn-based. The story's interesting. I love the combat. Evolving Digimon is like, or Digi-evolving, sorry, not evolving. Digimon is really neat. It's cool. So yeah, that's the last one on my list from, like, my favorites from Q1 of this year so far. And then we have our next little section here, which is need to play more of that we bought. And for me, the two that came to mind was Fire Emblem Fates. I really need to get back into that game. I wasn't very far along at all before I got distracted with other things. Kind of the same thing that happened with me in Awakening. And Pokken Tournament, of course, which I have been enjoying quite a bit.
Yeah, I'm going to use this section as my complaint section.
All right. Go
This is gonna be my disappointment, since I don't really have nothing to mention in terms of my favorite stuff, but there's stuff I do need to play more. I should get into that before. Pretty much it's just like Killer Instinct Season 3. It came out late last month, so I really haven't put much time into it at all. I hopped in one day, played a few rounds, tried out some of the new characters and the new locales, and it's pretty sweet, but I haven't put much time into it. And that looks like the only like release that I see myself going back to in terms of what I have here. Now let's get into the disappointments. Unravel. I was very excited about this game. Came out very early in the year. Played some of it on PS4, as I spoke about on the podcast before. The game really got me depressed, and like the mechanics were interesting, but I could see myself just getting bored of it by the end of the game, and some of the stuff was kind of frustrating. Some of the level design was confusing. You really didn't know what to use the mechanics for sometimes, and you would get stuck. So I don't see myself going back to this game. It's a shame because it was one of the games that I was really looking forward to early in the year. The next one is Street Fighter V. For obvious reasons, there's no arcade mode, bare bones story, bare bones in terms of like other content in the game. They just released the latest update, which they added Alex. They added, some different like tutorial stuff and challenge modes and stuff, but I haven't got to it yet, and they're going to keep releasing this game piecemeal moving forward, so it isn't until June, I believe, when they release the story mode, and then towards the end of the year when they release all the characters that they plan to release. So to me, it was a botched launch, botched opportunity for Street Fighter, especially being a marquee brand for PlayStation. They really dropped the ball with this one. I don't know if it was them or if it was Capcom. I just saw a quote recently that Yoshinori Ono said that they underestimated the popularity of like single player content for Street Fighter. They did, some things right, like in terms of you being able to unlock the characters just by playing through the game instead of purchasing, but they still offer you a season pass. So what the hell? The last disappointment, which you just spoke about, is Pokken Tournament. I'm pretty much done with this game. I'm not going back to it. I started the Ferrum League. I went through, I believe the first one's called the Green League. Yeah. And it was just a drag. Like, I went through it. I don't want to be, like, I'm being really negative now. But I just went to it through all the people and fought the boss and all that, the gym leader. And it was just very, very easy. Very repetitive because there's only 16 Pokemon characters, so you constantly fight the same Pokemon over and over. The story mode is really leaving me with wanting more. They could have done so many cool things. Maybe it just came down to time constraints and budget constraints. I just envisioned this game, the story mode, being something excellent in terms of like bringing you into that Pokemon world. And it's really just a few voiceovers and some cheesy lines, and it's not working for me. And that doesn't include the issues that I had with the resolution of the game not looking great on my TV set. But yeah, it seems like this first quarter of 2016 has been like a really bummer for me. Besides Far Cry has been the real highlight, but all the other stuff that I was like anticipating, and 1 out of 4 games that came out that really delivered for me, everything else has been kind of a bummer. But I'm sure that's going to change. This quarter it's looking fantastic, so I'm sure that'll change this year. But yeah, there was Far Cry. I dove into that game so much for such a long time and loved it, so that made up, I guess, for the other 3 bombs for me.
All right, then. Well, with that, we're going to do our little fantasy draft update for the games that came out in the first quarter. For Izzy, myself, Ozzy Legend, and Aaron B., who are in the listener category of our fantasy draft section. The only 2 people that did it. Thank you, guys. So, for Izzy, we had XCOM 2, which scored 88. Street Fighter V, which scored 78 on PlayStation 4 and 75 on PC. Now, what we're going to do at the end of the year here is that we're going to take the highest score. I think that's the fairest way to do this.
Okay, sure. Makes sense.
And especially since there's going to be a few canceled games, which is going to give a 0
Yeah.
anyway, so we got to balance it out somehow. And Unravel, which got 79 on PlayStation 4, 81 on PC, and 76 on Xbox One. So, not a bad start for you, is he? 88, a 78, and an 81.
Yeah, decent. It's funny that two of the games that I have were disappointments for me.
Yeah.
So yeah, you saw at least I was excited for them, but they just underdelivered for me.
Yep. For myself, technically, I didn't have a game picked for the first quarter of the year. So even though it's not all out yet because it's not released in North America yet, it was released in Europe. That's Bravely Second End Layer. It's got an 81 so far, so looking good.
All right.
And into our listeners, Ozzy, he picked Firewatch, which got an 82 on PC and a 76 on PlayStation 4. Oxenfree, which I remember him complaining about Polygon about that one, got an 81 on PC and a 78 on the Xbox One. And The Witness, which got an 87 on PlayStation 4 and an 88 on PC. So
looking
an
pretty
82, good. An 81, and an 88 for Ozzy. So good job, Mitch. And Aaron. I should also mention, too, that Ozzy and Aaron both had different strategies when picking their games. Ozzy decided to go with games that neither me or Izzy picked, and Aaron decided to go with a mashup of games that everybody had selected. So I really liked that.
That's
the
cool.
two people that did it with us had different strategies here. From Aaron, he picked XCOM 2, which got an 88. He also picked Unravel, which had a 79, 81, and 76, as I mentioned before. And he picked Fire Emblem Fates, which Conquest got an 88, Birthright got an 87, and Revelations got an 88. Now, at first I was all like, what the fuck are we going to do here? Because it's 3 different games. He didn't specify one, but since they all got a very similar score, 88 for Fire Emblem Fates. Let's just leave it at that.
Yep.
So Aaron got an 88, an 88, and an 81. So as of right now, it looks like Aaron is the top dog right now.
Mm-hmm. Looking good.
Yep. And we're not going to mention the delays and cancellations which occurred. Let me just say Star Fox is looking good. Alright, so with our topic of the week done, it's time to dive into our questions and comments, which I finally remembered to put into the notes so Izzy could see them as well.
Nice.
So first, we got a new commenter, S. Apples, who says, "Great episode, guys. I've been listening to each episode since the new year, and you have become a permanent fixture in my weekly podcast lineup. You guys are highly entertaining and thought-provoking content. Keep it up." Oh, sorry, you guys have we're not highly entertaining. Our content is highly entertaining and thought-provoking content. So, thank you so much, S. Apples. We really, really appreciate that.
Yeah, thanks, man. I appreciate somebody listens to this, to be honest. we do it for fun and because we like talking about gaming, so it's cool to hear that people listen to it.
Yeah, this is basically our weekly excuse just to shoot the shit on games.
Yeah, pretty much.
So, yeah, it's awesome that we got more and more people listening and being put into a weekly podcast lineup. That's very humbling to hear that. And Aaron B. left us a couple of comments. First, he mentioned that it was the best intro to date, which I believe it was something along the lines of 2 gaming guys and a whole bunch of silence. And he also left us a comment. "I'm glad you checked out Bloodborne, Izzy. I totally agree with your Castlevania comment. Haha. I enjoyed Lords of Shadow and its sequel up until its ending. But yeah, I wish Castlevania would have stepped it up before Konami revealed how awful it is. Because Konami is Konami and Konami is the worst. Now, I doubt we'll ever see it again." And also, he also asked, how's the single player in Pokken Tournament, Lord X? Is there like a campaign story? Yeah, there's a small story to it. It's nothing major from what I've experienced so far.
Boring.
What?
It's boring.
It's easy. It's boring.
To me, it's boring. Yeah.
It's all right. it's a fighting game story. You're not going to get something like in terms of the Pokemon games, but it's alright for what it is. I mean, this was essentially a port of an arcade machine game, so I didn't expect them to do very much with it. But it's something. It's more than what we get in some games. Apparently, it's more than what we got in Street Fighter V.
Yeah, it actually is. Probably the time that I put into like the Ferrum League is more than anything Street Fighter offers in terms of at least the fifth game.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I guess so.
All right, so I do believe that's going to wrap it up for this episode of the Glitched Out Gaming Podcast. Nothing else to mention, though I will say go check out Static Screen. Me and Izzy brought that back. We've got a couple of episodes up right now featuring Batman v Superman. By the time this podcast goes up, we might have a special wrestling episode up as well. Mm-hmm. And we did one on Cloverfield and Daredevil, too. So,
yep.
Go check that out. So, Izzy, why don't you take us away?
So, thanks everybody for listening and chiming in. Thank you to S. Apples and Aaron B. for the comments. Let us know in the comment section down below any of your thoughts on any of the things we discuss, like some of the games we've been playing. Have you tried out the Final Fantasy 15 demo? What are your thoughts? Are you going to be picking up any of these big releases for April, such as Dark Souls, Ratchet and Clank, Star Fox maybe? Let us know your thoughts on any of the news stories here, such as the most obvious news story of the week, GTA 6 in development. How they're handling the Final Fantasy VII Remake episodes. Are you excited for Final Fantasy 15? And let us know your thoughts on this whole looking at Q1 of 2016. What were some of your favorite games? What were some of your disappointments for the quarter? For Lord X, I'm Izzy, aka Israel Pacheco 89, and we are glitching out.
I got nothing this week, folks. Bye.